Hello, everybody. Welcome to Voices of Recovery. Today's guest is Ryan Ouber, and I'm your host, Gregory Greer. Today's guest, everybody, is the director of nursing at Pecan Haven Addiction and Recovery Center in Monroe, Louisiana. His name, Ryan Ouber. Ryan, thank you, my man. Thank you for joining us today.
No, thank you, Greg. Thank you. I'm very happy to be here today.
And as a director of nursing, we want to talk about your job role, how you got there.
Absolutely.
You're in recovery, right?
I am.
Okay. And if you went through what they call a professional program. So I think it's real important that we all understand how come we got where we are. A lot of counselors are in recovery themselves that work in the addiction recovery field. And how long have you been the DON out there?
2 years now. I actually did. I've been at Pecan Haven for 3 years. My first year there, I actually was utilization review and did insurance for a year. And then I switched to the DON about 2 years ago.
Cool. Hey, can I go ahead and just call out? The man has we have the same haircut, because it's like we got the same cut, got the beard action, glasses.
I mean,
you're
full on.
I mean, you're swole. I'm attempting to get swole. I've been working on that.
I'm attempting. So, a work in progress.
No, man, but you look good.
Thank you. I feel great. It's been a lot of changes since I went to rehab, and just lifestyle. Everything has just changed for me, and it's amazing.
How long are you sober?
4 years. 4 years in May the 4th.
4 years. May the 4th be with you. Oh, I know. I couldn't help it.
I know. I have it on my door at work. May the 4th be with you.
Right on. So the DON. So let's talk about how you got in all this, man. I mean, so you're a registered nurse. And in recovery.
Yes.
And where are you from? How did your journey begin?
Well, I'm from Pineville, Louisiana, small town right by Alexandria.
That's known as Ellick for all you Alexandria. Is that right?
Ellick and Pineville.
Okay.
Like Rayville, Pineville, you know.
Yeah.
But, I graduated from nursing school at Louisiana College in Pineville at 2007 and kind of stayed there for a little while, worked about for a year, and then I decided to move to New Orleans. More experience, bigger city than Pineville, and just able to see and do more. I'd been at home my whole entire life, and so I thought it was time for me to move away, experience life, get more experience as a nurse too. That was really important to me, and eventually go back to school. That was a big focus of mine.
So you mentioned going to New Orleans. So were you looking to travel? You become a traveling nurse?
No. So actually I went to New Orleans with hopes of going to anesthesia school, nurse anesthesia school. That was my focus when I left home, was to eventually pursue that. And, I've worked in the ICU basically my whole entire career, and did a few years of that and applied to school and didn't get in. So I just kept on going in New Orleans. I ended up meeting someone down there and ended up dating them, and it just kind of took off from there, and school kind of took a back burner from it. I wanted to achieve what everybody wanted, happy life, the house, the picket fence.
Did you want to be a nurse, or was that family influenced?
It was never family influenced. I'm the only nurse in my family. It was something, I don't know, it just all of a sudden one day I just realized that I really wanted to help people. And just, it's funny because I always said I never wanted to work in the ICU, because as an ICU nurse, you have to do everything for the patients. But it turned out that's what I love, and that's what I've always loved to do. And it's a passion of mine to help other people.
Is it a passion? Let me ask you something. Do you consider yourself a caretaker?
Yes.
Like a rescuer?
Yes, at times.
Okay, so you've been through treatment,
yes.
And we all have. And do we learn our I call it our love languages, which comes from our family of origin.
Yes.
That's the reason I asked if my family, because I come from a medical family and I wanted nothing to do with it, and ended up working in the ER anyway. But how do we create that love language? And I bring that up because having worked at Palmetto, I remember somebody saying, "Hey, when the nurses come through with the professional program, they would like qualify. They would refer to them as they're our caretakers."
Yeah.
And that always came from family of origin stuff. And I didn't know if you were aware of that or not.
No, it's not.
Okay. No. When you explore your own family background.
And a lot of my family background, thinking back, I really no medical professionals in my family. I mean, I have an aunt that's a physical therapist. That's about the only thing. But,
Oh, well, I kind of switched on you. So now I came from a medical background, but the way that we become a caretaker is wanting to take care of my parents when I'm a kid. Now it depends. If I'm a adult child of an alcoholic, and I find that I need to help them in some kind of way. So between the ages of 5 and 8, what do? It's like, oh, I learn if I take care of you, you will love me. And so then I become a caretaker. If I'm the oldest of several siblings and it's a, say, domestic violent background, it's like, so I'm gonna protect my younger siblings. I'm a protector, I'm a rescuer. And so how I seek my love language.
So even that, no, I'm an only child. My parents, cared for me and loved for me. And, I never really felt like I was a caretaker.
Interesting.
Growing up, yeah.
Wow. So it's not about taking. I don't know. So being a nurse and going into it, what was it that gave you the sense of satisfaction? I don't like that word. I don't like that word. Gratifying.
It's definitely helping people, but I also like the critical thinking and the problem solving and that kind of fast pace, adrenaline rush, so to speak, is one of my favorite things. That's why I stayed in the ICU for so long. I want, like, brain works fast, move fast, just work through the motions, just do what you have to do. And that's what I love about it. I mean, I do love taking care of these patients and that they're sick and they need help, but I really like that adrenaline.
Oh, right on.
Fast pace, because I've tried slower. I've tried working in areas of nursing that were a lot slower, and I cannot do it. I could not do it.
So we thrive on chaos?
I guess so, yeah.
I don't know. I'm asking.
No, it's you're hitting the nail on the head. That's exactly it. Because if I start looking at my relationships that I've had, I like that chaos.
Right.
I like being that caretaker, that problem solver that likes to get things done, that has to be moving like that.
And if you worked in ICU, similar to ER, it's a sink or swim environment.
It really
is.
is.
Either, because 2 years I did the ER scene in triage, and it's like, no one's here to save you. You get up against it or not. Right. But it is a rush.
It is.
It's like, wow.
It's a rush like nothing else I've ever experienced. I mean, and it's just undescribable.
So what is your drug of choice? Or drugs?
My drugs of choice.
I don't know. What is your
are
history?
Opiates and benzos, surprisingly.
Together?
Together.
Check you out.
I know.
Well, how did you get there?
So my husband that I met when I first moved to New Orleans, he actually started he was already in recovery when we met, and he was in the recovery nurse program. So that's kind of how I knew a little bit about it. And back then it was only a 3-year program. So he was finishing up. He had like a year and a half left, and he was actually on Suboxone when we met. So I didn't know how to take that, and it took some learning and everything, but he eventually got off of Suboxone, was sober for some years, had some problems with his license, and then he developed this neck injury. We don't know how, and he started getting pain pills prescribed. And this started before the opioid epidemic, where you could go to any doctor and they would give you any amount that you wanted. And he was on max dose of pain medicine. And it all started one day, I had been training a lot because I did an Ironman in 2014. So my body was hurting. My
Man.
knees were hurting. My whole body was aching.
Yeah, yeah.
And it started with, I have a headache. My knees hurt. Well, here, why don't you take one of these? This will really help. But, you got to be safe. You got to be careful with them. I was like, yeah, it's okay. They're prescribed. My thought process the whole time was, it's prescribed.
That's a common thing, right?
Yes.
Doctor gave it to me.
The doctor gave it to me. I have a prescription bottle for it. I'm not going to buy it off the streets or some dark alley or some person I don't know. I'm
not a junkie.
Right. I'm not a junkie. And I know,
Right,
I know
right.
that's horrible for me to say, but that was my mentality.
Oh, it's
That's
common.
what I thought.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's kind of how I started. And, it started with one here and there to maybe two here and there, and then one every day. And it just slowly progressed. And I could see it. I could see it coming, but I didn't care because it made me feel good. It took away all the pain or anything I was feeling that I didn't want to talk about. It took that away because at that time I was having marriage problems too.
Okay.
So it just,
well, now, was he not clean at that time then?
no, he was using these pills too.
Oh, I see.
So
Okay.
he was
He
taking,
had gotten out of the recovery nurse program, finished,
Correct.
and then went back to a.
correct. Well, he had lost his license because he was taking Ambien, and then they took his license away because it wasn't prescribed by the doctor they wanted to. So he was like, never mind, I'm not dealing with this. I'm done with this.
Oh, okay.
So ended up getting on disability, medications,
Wow.
and all of that. So, and we had stressors in our marriage. We had tried adoption a few times. Those had failed. And then my mother-in-law passed away on hospice in our house. So it was just, I liked taking the pills because I liked the way it made me feel, but then it turned into, I need to take these to feel better every day, that, hey, I'm just going to take as many as I can just to not feel this pain or to not have to deal with stuff every day in life. Specifically my relationship, whatever's going on in my life, I use that as an excuse to take more. That was my justification in my head.
And what led up to having to go to treatment?
Well, this continued for about 6 or 7 years. But I thought, okay, I never take them and go to work. I would never take any medicine the morning before I had to go to work. It was always when I got off of work.
Right.
And then, I did, towards the end, I started using Kratom. And I would take a little bit of Kratom at work halfway through the day because I could buy it.
Hey,
It was sold at the gas station. Exactly.
Over
Over the counter.
Yeah,
It's not harming anything. So what led up to it is I had gone to a pain doctor because I started having some arthritis pains and stuff. And the pain doctor had to do drug tests all the time. Well, I ended up testing positive for fentanyl at the time. And I made this whole elaborate excuse up that, I must have done something at work. It spilled on me,
It spilled on me.
It spilled
Some
on me.
fentanyl, a little
Yes,
drop.
a little drop spilled on me, or I
I'm sorry.
touched a patch. I touched a patch, and then I take it off somebody, and I wasn't
A
wearing
molecule
gloves.
made its way.
Something.
Yeah.
And at first they were like, okay, well, if this happens again, we're done.
Wow, that's
They give
bought
you
that?
one. They give you one chance. One
Oh,
chance.
Okay.
Well, it happened again, and then I just never showed back up. So at that point, I ended up switching to Suboxone because, again, I still had that mentality. Hey, Suboxone, it's prescribed. I just won't tell the board about it. Taking that, and then I was taking benzos for sleep at night.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was told I had ADHD, so I was taking Adderall during the day too.
You were told you were taking what you were told you had ADHD?
I went and was like, oh, I have this symptom, this symptom. Oh, well, you have ADHD. We did this little quiz online, and this is you have ADHD. So
wait, you're taking amphetamines, you're taking
Correct.
opiates.
Correct.
I'm not a junkie, but I'm basically speedballing.
correct.
That's what they call it on the street, speedballing. That's IV use, but you're not IV in it, are you?
No.
I mean, you could have been.
No, I wasn't.
But that's what they do. The heroin and the methamphetamines.
Yeah, they mix it
IV.
up together.
Yeah, they call it speedballing.
Exactly.
So I would call that my prescription speedball.
It's
That's
my
what I would
prescription
tell.
speedball every day.
Yeah.
So I would have my routine, I'd take my Adderall before going to work, and then I would take one halfway through work because it was prescribed. Then once I got off of work, I would be ready to go with my Suboxone. And then at the time, I got to where I was eating 2 strips at a time and then taking a Valium on top of that. So like it was just whatever I could do.
So 2 strips, you weren't prescribed 2 strips, correct?
It was like 1 3 times a day, but I would never take it at work. So I would just take 2 when I got off of work.
Wow. So what was the coup de grace?
You know, it's scary, but I don't remember my last week of work too much. I remember one day, one of the nurses, when I got off, when I was getting ready to leave, they were coming on. They were like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm just really tired. I'm just really tired." They're like, "Okay." From what I remember the next day, I guess I was nodding off something. I don't remember. And I remember my director came up to me and called me into the office, talked about it. And then I ended up having to go take a drug test, sent home, everything. Like that was my worst fear ever, you know, was having to be caught at work. You know, here I am ruining my whole career. So they did that. They drug tested me. I was sent home for a week, and then they called me back in and they let me go. And they said, you know, you have 2 options. You can let us call the board and we'll report you, or you can call and self-report yourself. So immediately that day, that's what I ended up doing. And it was hard because none of my family knew what I was going through and what I was dealing with. So to have to tell them everything was just the worst thing. And I was actually kind of happy because I saw an end in sight. Yeah. You know, I could not.
The mask, I could finally take the mask off.
Correct. Because this whole entire time I thought, okay, well, the only way this is going to end up is either something happening to my husband because he was using, something bad was going to happen to me and I didn't care, or I was going to get caught at work and I was going to lose everything. Well, that ended up happening, and immediately the first thing I did when I got home was I called the state board. And
did you go to treatment soon after that?
I did. I went, let's see, that was in April. I went May 3rd. So about 3 weeks after that, I went to treatment because I had to get all my finances together. You know, it was my insurance. I lost my insurance, so I had to pay for Cobra. I just had to make sure everything was in line so that I could do this, because I had a house, you know, I had a mortgage to pay. I had bills. I have dogs. I had everything that I had to continue paying for while I was doing this. So, but I ended up going straight to rehab.
Where did you go?
Palmetto
Addiction Recovery Center.
Went to Palmetto.
Now, see, I actually knew that. I was just kind of prepping that because I recall. But before we go into that, and I'm looking at the time, I'd like to bring up our sponsors real quick. Pecan Haven Addiction Recovery Center. That's our sponsors for today. They're located in Monroe, Louisiana. I think they have. Wait a minute, you work there.
I do.
Hey, maybe you could shout out, you know, the word.
Absolutely. We're located in Monroe. We're an 82-bed facility, male and females. We do detox. We do MAT treatment also.
What is MAT?
Medication-assisted treatment. So we treat people with opioid problems, alcohol problems with medications such as naltrexone, Vivitrol, Suboxone, Sublocade, Brixadi. We just started really doing that about a year ago. We've seen a lot of success with it and had a lot of good things with it.
Well, we can talk about that too a little bit later, because I just want to make sure that Pecan Haven is brought up. We want to thank you as a sponsor. If you need any assistance, the director of nursing here can speak a wealth of how the program is run, and anybody could reach out to them. How would you contact Pecan Haven?
You can call us. Our telephone number is 318-600-3333.
Rocking good news.
Anytime, 24 hours a day. We have somebody available to talk.
Fantastic. And I know many of the staff members there, and y'all pretty solid.
Awesome. Thank you. I think, you know, everybody that I work with, we all work as a team, and it's been amazing. It's been a life-changing experience, and I actually enjoy going to work every single day. I enjoy what I do. I never thought I would say that, coming from the busy ICU to a slow pace Monday through Friday.
I'm sorry, an 88 bed is a slow paced?
82.
82 bed is a slow paced environment?
Yes, compared to the ICU, it is. It is very slow paced.
Okay, I'll go with that. I'll work with that. So let's talk about your journey. So we got about 10 minutes to go into you going into walking through Palmetto, and you're in the nurse recovery program, RNP, recovery nurse program. I had a nurse on here before who went through that as well. I mean, what's that like with the pressure of a professional, being a professional, going through that? Then you have stressors at home too, trying to maintain your professional identity.
Yes,
if that is
absolutely
true. What would you like to say about that?
You know, I always thought that it was the worst thing that could ever happen, you know, and everything that you have to go through in order to get set up to go to treatment, you know, you think, why do I have to do all of this? But as I've gone along in the RMP, you know, I've realized that it's actually helping keep me it helps keep me accountable. It's helping me through my sobriety, you know, because there's certain things that I have to do every single day. I mean, I have to log in every single morning to see if I have to do a random drug screen. You know, I have to send in calendars. I have to go to so many AA meetings a week. You know, I have to have performance evaluations by my supervisor at work. So it's a 5-year program, but they help keep you accountable the whole entire time. And, you know, I'm so thankful that I have that, because a lot of people don't have that. Yeah, it is a pain in the butt. Yeah, I have to do this. Yeah, I have to do this. But then I tell myself, okay, I get to do this now in order to keep my license, because they could have just said, no, you lose your license, you don't get it back.
Right.
But it actually gives you a chance to, how can I say this? It gives you a chance to continue on with your professional journey. Like, they understand that, okay, things happen in life. Here's your opportunity to better yourself and keep your nursing license, which is really great.
Well, it builds a routine, a structure.
Absolutely.
I can't remember if Palmetto talked about it. I know I did ad nauseum. It takes between 66 and 120 days for one new neuro pathway to develop.
Yes.
So the long-term treatment is really necessary. The AA, Alcoholics Anonymous, talks about 90 meetings in 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
They started saying that in the 70s, but they weren't able to quantify it with research until, let's say, 2007 and 8, when they came out with the neuro pathways and the length of time it took for one to develop.
Yes.
So the accountability of a routine structure in place, it's very advantageous.
It is. It really is. And, you know, I never believed that when I was told that in treatment. It takes at least a year before your body starts getting back to normal. And, you know, the amount of months I spent not sleeping, still feeling bad. But now I see that after about a year, things did start getting better. And still to this day, everything gets better and better. Better and better. Like the fact that I can just wake up and feel good when I wake up. Yeah, I might be a little tired, but I feel good. Is just an amazing thing. And that I get to go to work every morning. It's life-changing.
Here, let's talk about Palmetto for a second.
Okay.
So what was it like for you there in the recovery program? Was it rough? Was it great? What was your best experience? Yeah, we have enough time. What was your most positive and what was your most negative?
So it was rough walking in the door because I'd never been to treatment before. So this was my first time. I did not know what to expect. I was terrified.
Who's your counselor?
Sean.
Ah, great. He's brilliant. That guy was on here a few weeks ago.
Amazing, yes. And actually continued aftercare with him for a year afterwards. So I had him for almost a year and a half. It was the best.
So terrified going in there.
Terrified going in there.
Brutally horrifying.
Horrifying, like anxiety, shaking, nervous. Plus, I'm coming off of opiates, so it just made everything worse. The best part was learning about myself. You know, I tell people all the time, I was 38 when I went to treatment. The first 38 years of my life, I never knew who I was or what I wanted. You know, I kind of just conformed to society wherever I was at. You know, I did this because this is what everybody else did. I dressed like this.
Like a chameleon? Kind of blend in?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say that.
Okay.
I would say that. And I tried to, you know, because I was never happy with myself. I didn't have any self-confidence, nothing.
So you said, what did you learn about yourself? Did you learn how come?
I learned that it's okay to be myself. And I actually...
Did you learn how come you didn't have, did you learn how come you had low confidence?
No. I think I know where it comes from. Self-esteem issues
Yeah.
when I was a kid, bullied for
Okay.
7-8 years of my life as a kid
Absolutely.
and not having any friends. So that was the majority of why I had no self-confidence. And I never really had friends. In high school, I had friends, but I didn't have really, really best close friends. Like, I had friends growing up as a kid, no friends. I don't think I had a sleepover at somebody's house, at a friend's house, until I was in like 6th or 7th grade, just because I didn't have any friends. But when I got to Palmetto, and after a few weeks, I realized that I have so much in common with all these people. We all come from different backgrounds, different life experiences, but we all have something in common. And I felt connected to everybody. And that, to me, that was the best part about it, was being able to experience this with other people, to be able to talk to other people and share my feelings and feel okay with that, and have somebody understand and not make fun of me for what I was going through or what I had gone through in life. And I have to say, Sean, because I was so shy around, he actually gave me an assignment over, what was it, Labor Day? No, not Labor Day, Memorial Day. Okay. I had to create a party for Memorial Day, a barbecue. I had to go to every single cabin, had to go talk to them, coordinate this, coordinate that. And as mad as I was at Sean, it was one of the best things he could have done, because that's how I started meeting more people. I'd only been there for about 3 or 4 weeks, but it was one of the best things. I mean, just the community you have while you're in there is like nothing else. I always called it summer camp.
Oh, let's be clear. It's not.
It's not summer camp, but it feels that way. It feels that way, with being able to walk around, not having a cell phone. I mean, you get addicted to having that cell phone, and to not have it for 3 months, it was so nice to not have to worry about that. But that was probably the best experience that I've ever had in my life. And I tell people that it was life-changing for me, truly life-changing. And it's brought me to where I'm at today, so I can never, if I have to say anything I didn't like or any negative thing, there really wasn't.
That's great.
Because it taught me so much about myself, about how to handle things in life, just how to go through life like a normal person.
What is normal, by the way?
I don't know yet.
It's a setting on a dryer.
It is.
Or a washing machine, right?
Or a dishwasher.
Dishwasher, yeah. I just heard that yesterday for the first time. It's a dad joke, bad. So,
pretty good.
Yeah, thanks. So you're going to Palmetto and then making this transition. So I didn't know transition from Palmetto to Pecan Haven, because you were a client, a patient, or however it's worded at Palmetto. And then I guess, from there, I think, what was your journey like being in your sober life? Because when I say sober life, I'm always looking for the spiritual.
That was a big change.
What is my perception of spirituality? And then what's it like with your role now working at Pecan Haven?
So my spirituality, when I start thinking about that, that's something that I really had to work on when I got to treatment, because, I didn't really have faith in anything growing up, and when I was there, and you read through the big book, a God of your understanding, the fact that I didn't have to do what everybody else wanted me to do. I could have a God of my understanding. That meant a lot to me, because my concept of God is my concept, or my higher power. And the fact that I could have my own set of beliefs, and that works for me. And that was a big change for me. That was a big thing, growing up in a Catholic family my whole entire life. That was a huge change. And as a patient or client there, I had to realize that I could only do so much, as far as, because here I go in the caretaking. I liked to help people still while in treatment, and people would say, well, you can't do that. It's in God's hands. It's in God's hands.
Is it caretaking or is it control?
For me, there's some control in it.
I was just curious. I just thought about that. That just kind of came to me right now.
There is some control in it, but
Yeah.
somebody quickly told me not long after I got there, you're not a nurse in here. I was like, oh, okay.
Take that right from you.
Take that right from me. It's a lot of caretaking because I find I do that in my everyday life, in relationships that I have in my everyday life, and also my work life too. It's something about just trying to help somebody in a time of need. That's a big thing for me. And so I kind of probably went away from the question a little bit.
You didn't, but that goes back to spirituality because that's
Correct.
meaningful.
Yes.
See, I believe that's meaningful. So I have a foundation of how I'm connecting. You could use the word altruism with that component that I experienced that. To me, that's a spiritual component altruistically. And
yes.
If I can build upon that, and I don't know that that's how you built your spirituality. You definitely defined a God of your understanding,
Yes.
is what I heard.
Absolutely.
And that's what's important because it's all about really identifying your own.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you're able to identify that, do you remember when that clicked? Like, it's like, you know what? I have a connection with God.
It was, I was in an AA meeting at night while we were there, and I just kind of felt we were talking about, there was some kind of topic, and I just kind of felt this need to say something. Like, I'm like, okay, well, I feel something's telling me, something's tapping me on my shoulder. Hey, you need to say something. And I remember that being the first time where I was like, man, that's my higher power talking to me. And then as I went through treatment, when they'd say take suggestions, I would take suggestions about what to do when I would get out of treatment. And I'd have my gut. Because as nurses, like if you have a gut, if your gut instinct is telling you something.
Intuition, baby.
Intuition.
Mm-hmm.
I learned it took me a while to learn this, a year or two later, that was my higher power. That was God telling me something. And yeah, it was sitting in that AA meeting that one night, and something was tapping me on my shoulder that night saying, hey, you need to say something about this. And that's really where it all started. And I remember talking about that in group about that, how I just felt a need to say something. And I think that's where it started for me.
Did you begin to try to pay more attention to when that might speak to you?
I think definitely in the meetings I did. Like I did. It was something that I know I had to continuously work on and see because, I had never felt anything like that in my life before. So it was something that took some learning. And like I said, I would say that's my gut telling me this. That was my gut. Yeah. And I didn't realize that until later that was my higher power. So it took a lot of learning to develop from there and to really believe and have faith.
Well, I think that's incredibly beautiful because we talked earlier about I call it addiction to chaos, that we thrive in it. During that time, I have a gut feeling how to take care of business. There's other gut feelings in the interpersonal relationships and other areas that we avoid. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, you can speak to yourself, but I'm wondering, once going through treatment, once working a structured program, that there's areas of my life that has settled down that allows a silence where I may be able to be more aware of that intuition, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Okay, good. Well, step 11, and I'm not here to Bible, big book thump or anything like that, but they say through prayer meditation, the conscious contact.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm studying I keep telling everybody about my pursuits of quantum metaphysics, PhD thing, and that's about a consciousness of being able to be there, and that's about meditation, to be able and to allow that quiet time to happen. But some of us are so busy, and we like it. It feeds a part of us, and by doing that, it doesn't allow me to be still so that I can hear these intuitive gut feelings.
Absolutely.
That allow me to make different decisions based on actions and follow through. Anyway, was that connecting with you on that?
Yeah, absolutely. No, absolutely it was. And I still, with the times to meditate, and like you say, we have busy lives, and sometimes I don't do it, and I know that I need to do it. But yes, that's like just a quiet time, relaxing. And it takes time to learn and develop that. Like, I didn't realize that, because they would say, oh, well, you need to go meditate about it. I'm like, well, what's that going to do? That's not going to do anything. I mean, what am I going to do? Just sit there? But then as I've gone along, I've realized how beneficial it is just to clear your head and your mind.
Well, I love hearing that. I do want to brag on you, because as our time gets limited, Ryan completed graduate school, so we had some confetti fall down from the ceiling. Congratulations! What's your degree?
Master's in Healthcare Administration.
Matt, are you going to do anything with that?
My plan is yes. So as far in the RMP, restricts me right now. So I'm just going to continue what I'm doing, because I am in an administrative role right now. So definitely continue with that. And then, I have less than a year left in the RMP. Next summer I'll get out. And then I'm just going to explore more options out there. Although I love what I'm doing now. I love working in the recovery community. I have more goals that I want to achieve as time goes by. So I really, and it's crazy, but I don't know exactly what I'm going to do. I know I'm going to do something, but I'm not stressing about it.
You have the tools to do something.
Absolutely.
You have the resources anyway with that.
Absolutely.
And then, because you were in the recovery nurse program, is there anything you would want to tell anybody that would be leery, skeptical, hesitant about seeking help? Would there be anything you would want to share that would be, that would be helpful?
Definitely. I mean, it's very intimidating, and it's a lot of stuff. And you think that, why are they doing this to me? But it's very helpful. It's something they're here. Yes, they're here to protect the community. That's the goal of the State Board of Nursing. But they're giving you a chance.
So it's not punitive. I know a lot of people think it's punitive.
Not punitive. No, it's not. Because once you're done with your 5 years, you're done. I don't have to do all this. But it's intimidating. It's a lot. But it saves your life. It saves your license. It helps keep you accountable. And at the end of the day, it's just another routine that I have every single day, every single month to do. And I can't say enough how much it has helped me. I know it's still to this day, sometimes I'm like, man, I got to do this. But then I look at it and I'm like, okay, I get to do this. I see the point in it. It's helping me. It's beneficial. Keep pushing forward.
So I'm curious how you've communicated here today, openly as you have. If you were to go back before entering treatment, do you think you would be able to do what you did today?
Oh, no. I wouldn't be able to do anything that I do today. As far as going back to school, like, I tell myself this all the time. If I would talk to my younger self before going to treatment and tell them what all I've done today in life and where I'm at, I would have looked at them like they were crazy. I would have said, you're crazy. That's never going to happen. It's just, it's amazing to look at it. And I sit back and I'm like, wow, I've really done all this since I've gotten sober. Like, I've never thought that I could ever achieve any of this. I thought, my life was over and done with. But here I am today with a master's degree, a great job, the healthiest I've ever been in my life. And it's just, it's amazing. A new spirituality. Just, there's so much.
Well, I'll say you are amazing, man.
Well, thank you.
If no one's told you, please allow me. You are amazing. You look amazing.
Thank you very much, Greg.
You're doing great work. There's a wealth of staff that think the world of you.
Well, thank you.
And so I want to make sure that you get to hear that.
Thank you very much. That means a lot.
Hear that. And then lastly, I've heard your story before. I've heard it once, actually, but and there's so much more we could have addressed. So maybe in the future, with a different theme through the journey, if you'd be interested a few months from now to come back and
absolutely
and talk about some other issues about what we go through.
Absolutely.
And the spiritual awareness that comes from it, man, I would love to have you back.
Yeah, I would love to be back. I would really enjoy that.
Fantastic. Thank you for coming. And I can't say enough to it.
Thank you very much.
So Ryan Ouber, ladies and gentlemen, from Pecan Haven Addiction and Recovery Center, the Director of Nursing. We want to thank our sponsors again. I also want to give out a shout to Sean Bryan, who helped this man find his voice. Voices of Recovery tagline is "Find your voice," and you found yours.
I did.
You found yours.
Yes.
Next week, the next episode, we'll be having Dr. Thomas Estes back at Palmetto Addiction Recovery Center, one of the original staff members, clinical director, PhD, LPC, LMFT, LAC, and a string of other that exceeds the alphabet, I'm sure, but we're going to have him here and look forward to having him with us. For Voices of Recovery, I'm your host, Gregory Greer. Thank you, and namaste.